Hello, I am a bad witch. Are you a good witch or a bad witch? I'm a bad witch. Damn. I am a bad witch. Hi, my name is Zoe. I am the Tipsy Psychic, and today we're going to talk about the compatibility between an Aquarius Pisces Cusp and a Cancer. Woo, woo, woo. What a powerful combination. Being with each other will allow you to explore all of these emotions that you didn't even know you had. Somehow your heart has expanded, and it hasn't even exploded. There is a river of never-ending emotions coming from you both. And this only happens when you both come together. It's a very special connection that only this combination of signs can share. Like only an Aquarius Pisces Cusp and a Cancer can actually share this type of sensation. It's like you haven't felt love until you meet each other. You may be asking each other, where have you been all my life? This is what my heart has been looking for. Even if you're not saying it, it's the type of feeling where you just found your other half, like the missing piece to the puzzle. They can definitely be your twin flame. Everything this couple does is ruled by emotions. You could get lost in each other's eyes, but make sure that you're still paying attention to the rest of your life. Like it still exists. Hello. Have you called your grandmother lately to see how she's doing? Or your parents? How is your best friend doing? Have you called them lately? Have you checked in on them? Say, hey, how's it going? Don't forget to check in with other people in your life that you care about and that care about you. It's so important to find a balance. Make sure that you are receiving the love that you give and that it goes both ways, okay? It's easy to feel like nobody else cares about you the way your Cancer does. But if they're not there and you're feeling helpless for some reason, it's important to understand that it's okay to feel entitled for other people to give you a hand. So just because they're not at the level of your Cancer when it comes to caring and all, doesn't mean that they shouldn't be helping you and they shouldn't be there for you too. So don't lower your standards for other people in your life. They also need to do their part and be there for you. Your Cancer would understand you. Being so vulnerable can be really empowering, but if you're not careful, it can also be a weakness. Your chemistry comes from this magical well of love. It's full of rainbows and sunshine and butterflies. And just being around that well feels nice. It just makes sense. One of the major themes of this relationship is discovery. You're both discovering yourselves and each other. And even if you're not really sure where it's going, you're going to keep discovering and exploring. You don't want to push your Cancer away, so you might not be setting boundaries or taking charge in any way. And this is really common here. It's good to trust them, and it's good to trust the way things are going, but it's also okay to start making some decisions and taking the lead. If you feel like your Cancer is not treating you like you want to be treated, it is so important to defend your honor. No one should ever disrespect you, and even if you don't want to mess with your Cancer, you have to have your own back, because they might not realize like how much things are affecting you. So you kind of have to tell them, you have to speak up and be like, hey, you can't say that to me, okay? Because they might not realize it if you're just doing everything, in their way at times. You're not used to being so out in the open, and you really cling to your privacy and to your secrets. You want your Cancer to learn who you are over time, and you don't want to give everything away at once. Like, you want some mystery. But this privacy that you're holding on to is not that important. There is so much more to your love, and so it really rules out the need for suspense. So you should really stop keeping things from your Cancer if that's a problem. You're a deep thinker. You like to contemplate, and your Cancer will really like that side of you. Trust is everything to this couple. If there is no trust, then there is no relationship. No matter how deep your connection is. The minute you stop trusting each other, the minute you start to distance yourselves from each other. So when you usually meet and fate brings you together, you're usually at a point in your life where you've been hurt before. And you might have some issues with putting your faith into another person. And that is another reason why trust is so important. This is the type of couple that likes problem solving. You might not like solving each other's mystery, but you both like puzzles, and your favorite puzzles are people. Also, a good date night activity might be an escape room or a murder mystery party, or just like a game night at home with your friends or with each other. When you put your thinking caps on, you are capable of so much. Sherlock Holmes would resonate with you both so much. Try to stay on track. Sometimes you have to ask for what you want. Your Cancer is not a mind reader, and you're going to have to be direct. What you want matters, and you need to tell them. You may have possessive tendencies. Like, it might be your first instinct to just keep them safe, but you need to stop that habit right now, okay? Because that's not healthy. Your Cancer does not belong to you or anyone. Cancer usually admires your style and preferences. You usually also like a lot of the same food. Your love is so strong, so intense, that you will feel drawn to each other like magnets. Both of you will most likely come into this relationship very guarded with your walls up because of past trauma or heartbreak. But no matter how hard you try to keep those walls up, you both break through each other's barrier with ease. You both learn about pain and heartbreak the hard way. And it's so risky for you to be so vulnerable, but it will feel like there's a weight lifted off of your shoulders if you can start to trust each other. And you especially, Aquarius Pisces, do not trust easily. Your trust must be earned. In fact, you're one of the least trusting signs of the Zodiac. You're very wary of giving your heart to anyone. But Cancer might be one of the easiest signs for you to trust. You will find that once you choose to trust a Cancer, and that they earn your trust, they earn it, they usually remain trustworthy and loyal and dependable for a very long time. Your heart is going to be the decision maker here, but you should use your brain a little bit at least. You still have a logical side, and it's very important for you to incorporate it into your actions sometimes with your Cancer. Like, try to be a little reasonable. My advice is to let your walls down and let your Cancer in, even if it's scary. You have a very serious side, and sometimes it can take over, and you can forget to be cheerful and have a good time. Don't be afraid to smile. A Cancer doesn't want a partner that depends on them too much. So keep that in mind. You learn so much from being with each other. Your bond is very therapeutic. When you decide to commit to one another, whether it's like marriage or just like a relationship, expect it to progress in a very healthy way. This is a very loving marriage. Your marriage is very important to you both, and you do not take it lightly. It's very special to you. It's very important to look within if you're ever struggling in your relationship. And don't cut yourself off from the rest of the universe. Make still you have access to the people that you care about, because it will be very consuming to be in this relationship. There are so many unique quirks that come up as you date, as you grow together. So much to discover that is just so cool, that just comes out of nowhere. And you love that. Those times fascinate the both of you. And often it can become like an inside joke between the two of you, something only the two of you really understand, or it becomes a fixation in your lives. It's not something that you would both want to tell anyone about, it's just something that you share. Your Cancer likes a partner who is eccentric, and that could definitely be you. Cancers are known to retreat when they don't want to deal with something. When they feel down, they can hide to process their feelings. They won't really have that option when you're around because you're so connected that they don't really have anywhere to hide. They're forced into confrontation. And that's not a bad thing or a good thing. This can become unhealthy if it becomes too codependent. The more committed you are to each other, the higher the risk for codependency, which is not good. The stronger your commitments, the more you have a tendency to isolate yourself from the rest of the world. Your love is sacred. You both feel that what you have is very special and it is no laughing matter. The deeper you fall in love and the more committed you are to each other, the more your connection will feel interrupted, like different obstacles pop up, and it will be very easy to get carried away. But there will be times when you're just going to have to get your head out of the clouds and focus on the path ahead. Focus on the task at hand. Once you are married, there's some responsibility that comes with that type of commitment. And you have to stay on that path and stay focused. Don't lose sight of where you're going. Remember that trust is at the core of this match. Never stop building on that trust. Even if it seems like enough right now, keep working at it. It's very common for you to share deep interests, whether that's reading sci-fi novels or watching Game of Thrones or anime or role-playing with elf ears. There is usually some bizarre activity that you like to do. Cancer would have no problem having a household with you. It is part of who they are. You both know each other so well. Sometimes they understand you so well that you're not sure if it's something you should be celebrating. You both appreciate having a partner who really understands and who's so tuned in, but it may feel overwhelming. When you're married, you have a very strong relationship. Your worst nightmare is when one of you dies. It is one of the most tragic and devastating feelings. And the thought of it probably makes you tear up. Like, it's really intense. If one of you passes away, it's going to be devastating. It's going to be very hard to recover from that. They would probably isolate themselves and even contemplate their own passing. That's how devastating it is. I'm not saying other deaths aren't. Like, death is, it's sad when you lose someone you love, you know? It's tragic. But I'm just talking about this connection and how important it is. This is like a twin flame relationship. It is very intense. A big problem with marriage is that it is so special that you both put it on a pedestal, so that when something isn't working, you might feel like you have to tiptoe around the topic. Your heart really takes over in this relationship. And sometimes you overlook the important things like commitment and stability. You stop using your mind when you're only thinking with your heart. So make sure that you're paying attention. I just gotta say, if one of you passes away, even if it takes like a really long time to grieve, it doesn't mean that one of you won't love again. It just may not be the same kind of love because, you know, that one was so unique. But there's a lot of different types of love out there, so, you know, there's so much that you both would have shared, and that experience will be with you forever. So most of the time, this couple shares the thrill for watching horror movies or thrillers. A good date night idea might be to go see a horror movie in theaters. They would probably be the one to have the most ups and downs. You would be more stable. The spark between you is extremely passionate, and it can be so strong that it has a mind of its own. You might feel like your connection is so strong that it overpowers you. You need to understand that your Cancer will teach you an important lesson if you have issues trusting. Your Cancer shows you that you can trust and that you shouldn't cut the rest of the world off. You should give them a chance. If you want things to move forward, then you're gonna need to be able to loosen the reins and stop being so possessive of them, because that just makes things more difficult. At times, you just won't really understand why things are happening to you, and that is why you need to use your brain. Don't plan in your heart to do everything because nothing will make sense after a while. You both like playing detective about your love life. So make sure that you are investigating all of it, not just the stuff you're curious about. When things are going really well, it's terrific. It's awesome. But when things are going not so well, then things are devastating. You might feel like you're jumping from one extreme to the next if you're dealing with instability. And it's going to be very overwhelming, so just beware if you find yourself in that situation. Those extremes are out of your hands, and you just have to deal with the aftermath. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you are born on the cusp of Aquarius and Pisces, or if you are a Cancer, please comment below. I mean, anyone's welcome to comment, but I would love to know like what you thought, whether you found this to be accurate. Have you ever dated one another? I would love to hear from you. Yes, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Tell all your friends. Chances are you know a great deal of cusps. So, okay, bye.